Hello, my loves. How are you? Today, we're going to dive into a divine feminine support message. It's been coming through very clearly that divine feminine has been released from her previous role. There are many of you who have connected with me and are feeling these energies and essences. It's a big part of the collective reset that many of us have been experiencing, sensing, and feeling into as the divine sacred feminine collective has been called into states of rest and rejuvenation and replenishment as she is being released from her previous past role and preparing to move into her next steps and stages. So, right before I started to record this, I got a pop up on my computer that said that there wasn't enough storage space. And that felt exceedingly significant. I had to go delete a bunch of files just to be able to record this message for you. And this to me is affirmation and confirmation around the importance of clearing out the old files, the old patterns, the old stories, the old beliefs, and the old roles, because you have done so much work and you have transformed so deeply that you're needing the space and the time to allow the results to drop in and to start to take a deeper, stronger, more solidified shape within your physical life, within everything that you're experiencing. One of the things excuse me, that's been coming up is that there's also, I've been feeling and sensing to share that there's a transformation and a deeper opening happening within the high heart chakra, especially for the feminines between the heart and the throat. There is a lot of expansion that is wanting to come through with that. Also, I was specifically guided to wear the dream catcher earrings today, and it feels significant that this is about that embodiment of being in a space to receive our dreams, to be able to catch them as they present in front of us. And so, this time of rest and replenishment, surrendering to the higher power of the work that you've done and allowing yourself to receive those results. Some of you may also find that you're sort of opening up to be in the flow of your day, and then you're just receiving a whole bunch of unexpected guidance about specific actions to take. Continue to honor that in whatever way flows and feels good for you. So, in this rest period, it doesn't necessarily mean that we will only be laying around watching Netflix, although I do encourage those of you who have been guided to do that, because I myself have gotten the guidance to do that for the first time in 4 or 5 years. So, I've been enjoying that myself, but also in the sense of actually receiving the results of all of the momentum of the work that we've been doing over those past 4 or 5 years is that capability of not needing to micromanage the universe, our schedule, or our lives. We can simply flow with our day and allow it to unfold in front of us in a very natural and flowing way. So, yes, the divine and sacred feminines may still find themselves being guided to take action on specific things. Allow yourself to flow with that. You may find that you're all of a sudden things from the past are coming up to be completed out, to be cleaned up, and to be shifted to make more space for what it is that you've been asking for. I'm also guided probably tomorrow. I'm going to post a message that really is coinciding, sort of like the part two of this message for the divine masculine collective, because it's become very clear the masculines are also in the process of releasing burdens from their life that have been distracting them from what they want, but also there's been a very strong thread coming through that the divine masculines are in a deeper state of their own healing and healed masculine energies, and they're no longer dealing with or entertaining wounded feminine, karmic, codependent feminine essences or energies. And many of the divine and sacred feminines are also noticing this within their own systems. And so there's a very deep mirror happening where the feminines are noticing that they are cleaning up their last bits of their own wounded feminine essences as they're coming up to clear, or their own engagement in wounded feminine um, patterns internally, externally. And this is also being mirrored within the divine and sacred masculine collective as well. So stay tuned for that if you would like more information around that. But it'll also, feminine, support you. I believe the masculines will bring in some beautiful insights to support the feminine collective in her processes as well. Same as the divine feminine messages bring in support for the divine masculine collectives who are here and present with us. All right. So, some of the things that are coming through with this divine feminines being released from their old roles, some of you may be experiencing an exponential shift within your divine counterpart connection. And it's also moving out of its old patterns and preparing to move into the transformative states and into its next steps and stages. Some of you may be experiencing this as an energy that feels like a completion or an ending of your connection. And my higher self guided me to speak to you about a few offshoots of this potential. Some of you may have been in sort of a karmic twin connection, and it may, in fact, be completing out, as that was a part of your initiation and contract to move through those energies with that ascension partner. And there are some of you who are in a twin divine counterpart connection that is intending to come back together into alignment, into a genuine sacred union partnership. And so this reset, if you're feeling it, is going to support you at the highest levels, regardless of whichever trajectory that you have been on. Whatever your souls chose, whatever path you aligned with to accomplish as much as possible, and to prepare yourself for the next steps and stages of your gorgeous, joyful, fun, peaceful life, where you're also embodying into those next steps and stages of your purpose and your mission, which, my loves, is to be your own beautiful, gorgeous, authentic self. That is your purpose, regardless of everything else. Of course, I know many of you have very gorgeous careers and purposes and how you serve others and humanity. And that is part of your purpose. But your overall purpose is to be the embodiment of yourself, my loves. That is the biggest gift you can give to yourself, your counterpart, and this planet. Your purpose is to embody your authentic soul essence. Okay, loves. So I want to get some messages. And yesterday in the Patreon video, I dove deeper into the divine counterpart twin flame energies for July. And one of the things that came through, that as the feminines are stepping into this new role, what is happening is it's creating a space between the divine counterparts that is actually allowing for a clearing of the old patterns at a completely deeper way than we've ever experienced. It's freeing the masculines to move into their sovereignty and their purpose and their authenticity and their own lane. And it is allowing the divine higher order and alignment and the higher powers that be to have liberty and space to support the counterparts in the physical world, in the spiritual and emotional world, in new and deeper ways. So if you would like to connect with that, that's over on my Patreon, and I'll drop that. And yesterday's YouTube video, if you haven't watched that July message, that was some really good support that came through, and that I'll put those both in the pinned comment. But I want to go into deeper messages for the feminine. And in the Patreon, I was guided to use my mystical shaman deck, which hasn't come through in quite some time. But the energies, as you can tell within my guidance for my earring choice, as well as the cards, that there are some very sacred, gorgeous energies coming through to support the feminines as they embody more into their sacred feminine embodied essences. To me, the sacred feminine essence is where a 3D physical world human is embodying into her divine feminine essences in a balanced, harmonious way, and working in her embodiment of her internal union in embodying those sacred feminine essences. So this feels very, very much that the feminines are in this process of truly dropping into owning her lane as a sacred feminine on Mother Earth. Okay. And this is beautiful because it's where we are intended to be to support not only the energies of divine and sacred union, but we're also in that process of embodying those internal templates, which is supporting those unity consciousness codes to be strengthened, deepened, and grounded and more embodied in an earthly way. Okay, I'm guided to get 3. So let's see where we go with this. Thank you for bearing with me. There is obviously, as you can see, quite a bit of information coming through with this. Okay, wow. So, wow. We have the lower world, lightning, and the rainmaker. And what is coming through for me is where these higher essences, these higher visions, and these higher energies are now so much more embodied by the feminine and or being moved and brought into our planet via the feminine essences and down into the lower world. And what I'm feeling with this quote unquote lower world is, yes, our 3D planet, right? Our physical world planet, where we're embodying more of these 5D and higher essences onto the planet into our physical bodies. But it's also signifying to me the lower chakras and moving down into being able to embody the higher essences, even while being present on the planet that is still experiencing lots of different energies that are not, a lot more duality is still present. There's a lot of things that are still being processed and worked through and worked out of the planetary system. But as the sacred feminines are moving into her next role, her next levels, as she's embodying into herself, focusing on what she is called to do, it's creating a very powerful portal of energy that is supporting the transformation. When we are to look at what we might see on social media, the news, or the mainstream media in general, you're not going to be hearing about these types of things that are actually happening at the higher levels and so bravely and courageously being embodied into the general collective. And as you are embodying into your day-to-day life, while you're living and breathing and sharing these higher ways of being in these so-called energies, these lower ways of being, or within what we sometimes consider the 3D. And I don't mean it lower in lesser. We think of the lower chakras, right, as the embodiment of physicality. But as we're bringing in those higher spiritual energies and we're able to sustain and embody them into the physical world in a way that is sustainable, but also very centered and in a way that is actually sustainable for day-to-day life, not just these concepts that we wanted to experience in our life, ways that we knew and wanted to see happening on our planet. But as we are actually taking the time to become vessels and become the embodiment of those energies, we are learning to share those in the day-to-day life. And it is creating much more change in our physical 3D realities than you may have been aware of. This is where those 5D and higher energies are being embodied into physicality. This is where the ascension process happens, not only for us, but for the planet as one big collective. Okay, I'm going to get some other cards to sort of give us a little bit of deeper information around these roles. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. These cards are flying everywhere. And I'm going to take the significance of how they are coming out. So we have the feminines having experienced victory, which I spoke about this in yesterday's video. She's in the process of embodying deeper levels of her Empress energy. Many of you have been embodying the Empress and really working with that. But in this rest and rejuvenation phase, this is actually strengthening at a whole other level. This is where the victories you've experienced and the way that you've began to embody into those Empress energies, the reason you're being restful is because you're preparing to take this victory and this Empress energy into a new entire level. So there's more supports that are coming through for the feminine collective. And I want to see what these are. There's a bit more studying, and this card flipped. It was flipped upside down. Oh, okay. There's more of the seeds that the feminines have been planting, especially over the last few years, but perhaps through her entire life since the day that she's been born. Much more of that is being embodied, right? So I'm seeing this now as sort of like she's pulling in those energies. She's embodying, learning what she needs to learn, and really anchoring those seeds into the planet. And you see that this is a masculine. So the second level of messages that's coming through is that the masculines are also receiving the codes and the support and the information from the feminines. They are interpreting and embodying it in their own way. And this horse to me is signifying where they are learning deeper or being called at this time to align with their own energies of freedom and sovereignty. So, as the sacred feminine collectives have freed themselves from much of what we deem and determine or have heard of as the matrix or the 3-4D false matrix, the more the feminine has embodied into the new higher ways of being while still navigating this planet and all that is occurring within it. What it is doing is creating a stream of that freedom and potential sovereignty. And the sacred masculine collectives are feeling it. They're sensing it. They're aware of it. And they are taking the horse by the reins for their own freedom. And they are now going through their process of unbinding, unraveling, and dissolving themselves from the old entrapments of the old ways of being. And that right now is going deeper into that next video I'm going to do around divine masculine releasing his burdens. So we are having much more confirmation around how these energies are coinciding and working together. Okay. And I'm going to pull a final card from the Priestess of Light deck just to support the feminines overall as they are in this rest phase. In this rest phase, I'll say this already, what's coming through as you're resting and then just following the flow of your guidance that you're receiving and taking action as you're guided, that is homing in on strengthening and sharpening your Empress energies. As you're learning to do this for yourself, as you're becoming that leader in balance and harmony for your own life, caring for, nurturing, nourishing yourself, and at the same time, showing up and taking action and building and creating in the physical world, but in a harmonious way that is supportive for your well being. You are setting that example of what this Empress sacred feminine essence is. And so, this rest is also where you are strengthening and truly embodying into your receptive energies and mastering more of those internal union essences of surrendering to the higher guidance, receiving that higher guidance, and then trusting it and taking action as you are guided. Okay, my loves. And it could be as simple as waking up in the morning and all of a sudden you feel guided to make some phone calls and go get groceries and stop here and do this and do that. And it might even be things that you're thinking are not that big of a deal or not that important, but they are. And why it's important is because you are trusting the flow that is coming in. And when you can trust that guidance and you trust yourself and your higher capabilities, with those things, what you are going to see is that you are going to be entrusted with more and more in what's the word? With more things that you feel are more important or more significant because you are trusting yourself, you're trusting your guidance, you're trusting the flow without needing to micromanage the universe or micromanage yourself, my loves. You are building, strengthening, and deepening into that true level of higher power surrender to your own higher power and guidance. Okay, my loves? So start with whatever you're given. Even sometimes if it doesn't make logical sense, but you feel that it feels right and the pathway feels clear and open for you to move forward with that guidance, please listen to that, my loves. Please listen. Okay, now we're still going to get that final message from the Priestess of Light. Miracles, ancient wisdom. As you are trusting yourself, your guidance, as you continue to unravel and dissolve the things that told you that you had to do, be, or act a certain way in order to receive what you're deserving, and you step into that trust, my loves, you're going to be experiencing more and more miracles. And I would like you to focus on noticing, honoring, receiving, and acknowledging the miracles as they're coming through, no matter how small they may seem, honoring the synchronicities, honoring the support that you're receiving, honoring when things are flowing for you, and noticing that it's okay to rest when they are not, and that rest is what is meant to flow. Okay, because this is coming in again with my throat, I do feel guided to get a message around the high heart. Is there something that we need to know with these high heart energies? 10 of Cups. Okay. So yesterday in the Patreon, this 10 of Cups was coming through as that sort of internal union, twin ray, rainbow ray essence. So there's going to be more on that on my Patreon video when that comes out. I will drop it in the community tab when that comes out so that you guys know about that. Okay. But the high heart is activating at a deeper level. However, that resonates for you, however, you feel guided to give that some love and attention. Right before this video, I was guided to put actually some joy oil right in this area, my high heart and into my throat area, just honoring and acknowledging that you're going through an upgraded version of your heart, your love, and how you express that out into the world, and allowing yourself to expand into these next levels as you expand upward through the higher chakras and sharing your love deeper down into the lower chakras. Okay, my loves, expecting, receiving, and experiencing miracles as you move into those deeper internal union states. Gorgeous, gorgeous work, gorgeous messages. So much love to all of you today. And whenever you watch this, of course, you know I would absolutely love to hear from you and let me know what you're thinking and feeling and sensing around these energies. All right. Talk to you soon, loves. Bye.